Morning, guys. Day 14, 2 weeks on SR. We're still feeling good. We still going strong. Woke up this morning, did a quick home workout. I'm feeling solid. Today I want to talk about confidence, and more specifically confidence and how it relates to discipline versus repression, Now, I know I advocated against becoming a hermit in previous videos. I advocated against becoming a shutout when you hop on SR and when you're starting to get consistent in your discipline. And if you're anything like me, yes, I advocate for that. I don't advocate against it because I'm the type of person that when I get on a high streak, if you put me in the wrong room, the energy starts flying pretty fast, I like being the center of attention sometimes. I'm confident in a way that most people are not, right? Not to say that I'm more confident than most people. I just mean the way that I express my confidence is a bit more, it's a lot more hands-on. And then coupled with the way I look, it doesn't really help in terms of keeping things neutral, It's going to be a charged interaction most of the time. So if you're something like me, yeah, I advocate for you to maybe hermit yourself a little bit when the energy starts to pick up. For me, the next 15 days, as I approach 30 days, I know how it's going to go. And as it charges up, I need to make sure that I'm not wasting my key, so to speak, like I'm concealing my key a little bit. But today I wanted to talk about the real difference between confidence and repression. So what actually is confidence? Well, your confidence is your ability to express yourself with an underlying feeling of self-belief. You are validated in what you can do and what you're capable of, and you have no problem completing your tasks, getting things done, showing what you're capable of to the world. The way confidence works is it does come from the external, right? You can be a good-looking person, and people tell you every day that you're good-looking. You're gonna eventually internalize the fact that you're good-looking, and you'll be confident in your looks. But it also comes from the internal, because you'll look in the mirror and you'll realize that you're good-looking, right? But then other people will say it, and that will just confirm what you are already thinking. And so it goes that way with a lot of stuff. Let's say you're a boxer, the way I was. I'm still a boxer. I'm not training in a gym right now. I'm solo training. But let's say I was training in a gym again, and I go to like 3 months of lessons, and after 3 months, my coach, he starts telling me, he's like, oh, you're starting to stand out. Like, I'm seeing your technique, your form, it's high level. I want to put you in a spar with an amateur. He has a couple fights coming up. He's training for camp. I'm going to put you in this spar. So I get in this spar, and I perform really well against this amateur who has a big fight coming up. And let's say I beat him in this spar. Well, now the entire community in that boxing gym is acknowledging, like, yeah, you are skilled at boxing. You're good. Now I have the confidence that I'm a good boxer. But not only that, I also put in the work and the time and the effort to make that performance. So confidence is essentially a balancing between the validation of the internal and the external. And when those two line up, you're able to express what you feel and know that you are, right? So how does this relate to semen retention? Well, when you're charging that energy, it's going to be way easier for you to exude that confidence. Also, you're going to have more energy to be able to increase your skill set in whatever field or whatever you're trying to do, right? You'll be able to increase your ability to talk to people. Maybe if you're in sales, you'll be selling better. Things like that. And all of these things, they boost your confidence, right? Now, if you're lacking in confidence, you're going to have to get out there and use your semen retention energy to make some things happen. Whatever it is that you do, you know. And we all have our thing that we do, our purpose. Or even if you don't do it, it's there. You just don't see it yet. But it's whatever you're obsessing over when you're alone, that thing that you love to do and you don't care who's seeing or if anyone's there. If you were by yourself, you lived alone, you would still do this, you would still work at this. That's your purpose, that's your thing, your edge, right? And we all have an edge. We're all standing on that edge, right? And the best thing to do when you get on semen retention and you're accumulating days is to jump over that edge and use those abilities for something tangible, right? To generate something. I talk about this in every video, but it cannot be said enough times, right? Now, on the flip side, we have repression. And that's when, you know, maybe you got on semen retention because you were afraid of talking to girls, or you were afraid of making a big business move or making a move in your life. But then you get so high on semen retention, the energy's so charged, and you're just scared of messing everything up, and you just start isolating yourself. I remember during my first 70, 80 day streak, I was also in the middle of midterm and exam season, and I just kind of completely isolated myself. All I would do was study and write my exams, right? But I wasn't putting myself in situations where I could manage my confidence or manage the energy I was charging up. I was almost afraid to use it, right? I guess most of you are familiar with Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. You can think of it like Gohan. Gohan had the latent power. He had the latent energy. He knew what he was capable of since he was a young child, 4 or 5 years old. If he gets extremely upset, he's able to produce planetary devastating power, right? Like, he can wipe out the entire planet if he was mad enough. At age 5, he was capable of doing that. And he knew what he was capable of, but he was afraid of his own shadow, so to speak. Afraid of his own energy, and he could not bring himself to use it when it was most necessary, right? When they were fighting Cell and his friends are getting killed, he could not bring himself to draw out that energy that was required to get the task done because he didn't integrate it. It wasn't until he fully snapped, and then we saw what happened after that. If you're familiar with the show, it led to the death of his own father. So obviously nothing extreme or drastic like that is going to happen, but it's a good analogy because it reflects exactly what we're dealing with here, right? If you're not used to using that energy, you're not used to going outside, you're not used to integrating your shadow. Yeah, another new term. If you're not used to integrating your shadow, it's going to cause a lot of chaos. And so you need to start almost microdosing those integrations. You need to go through certain situations where you see what your energy can do and see what you're capable of to be able to use it towards something that progresses yourself and your environment, you know? And that just starts with, you know, going outside, interacting with people, experiencing life, and also consistently working towards your goals, right? You gotta be in the gym. You gotta be doing your sport. If you're an athlete, you gotta be training constantly. You know, you have to put that work in. If you're a student, you need to be studying. You should be pulling in the grades that you know you're worthy of. And semen retention is gonna make you realize that you're worthy of these things that you pursue, right? If you have a dream for it, if you have a knack for it, an affinity for it, or even not an affinity, if you have a love for it, then you are able to pursue it, you know. And so that's what I wanted to leave with you guys today, is the importance of developing your confidence while you're on this practice. You cannot remain repressed and weak to the power that's within you, but rather you need to focus on training it. Now, how do you train it? Key techniques, right? Make it part of your daily routine. Make prayer part of your daily routine. Make exercise a part of your daily routine. If you're afraid to talk to girls, talk to one girl every day. And it doesn't even have to be in I'm trying to bag type of manner. It doesn't have to be a sexual manner, but avoiding them completely causes sexual repression, and simple interactions allows you to integrate. If you're trying to improve at sales, make a cold call every day, transmute that energy. And over time, you will integrate that into yourself, and you'll start to get the validation from the external that you need to balance with your internal reflections and your internal realizations that this is your path, right? And when you get that, you improve in confidence, and that allows you to do what you can do, right? And now my purpose here is to convince you to do that. And when you do that, hey, the world becomes a better place overall, because everyone is doing their purpose aligned with goodness, aligned with God's will. I'll leave you guys with that. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.